Complexities Hobbies Hobby Blog. This is episode 6, 6th week since I've started it and moving right along. It was a really good week for me this week. I got a lot done. I got a lot of really nice paint jobs this week. I ended up painting like 10 models. And I've been getting a whole bunch of traffic on the Instagram account, which is really nice. So I'm gonna keep at it, and I'm gonna keep making them, and keep making stuff, and giving you some cool stuff to look at, and keep talking into the internet. So, we'll go right into the hobby update. So my goals for this week were to assemble squigs, which I changed again to assemble grots, because I looked at my collection of Gloomspite Gits and was like, I've already got like 20 of these metal ones and all the handlers with them, so I think what I really need is some stabbas, which turned into I need even more stabbas when I went down to the hobby shop this week. So more grots in the future. Many more grots to come. I have an infection of grot, which sounds terrible, but it's actually quite pleasant. I had to assemble some stern guard, which I did. Now I've got between all the stripped marines and just kind of readjustment and stuff, like there were some bolters that didn't survive the stripping process and stuff. I now have about 20 stern guard, with all sorts of wonderful combi weapons and stuff. So I've got all the options for them I want, if I want them, which I'm happy about. Tactical flexibility is the way to defeat the enemy. So I got the stern guard assembled, and then I was like, I'm going to paint 3 Blightlord Terminators, and I lied because I painted 5. I sat down and got to work, and I just chain painted, and I was like, you know what? If I just keep going a little bit more, if I get them to this point tomorrow when I wake up, it's going to be like doing the bases, matte varnishing, done, pretty much, and doing the various gloss paints on them. So I'll just show a couple of these here. Photos of all this is up on Instagram. Links for it will be in the bottom at the end of this video, or in the comments, or information of this video. If I pause like this for a minute, bear with me, because I ate a lot of pizza tonight, which is not too unusual, but yeah, I'm very full. But yeah, I got the Blightlord Terminators done, and they are pretty. I am so pleased with how these turned out. They make me want to go get more of them and just run nothing but Blightlord Terminators and get some more Death Shroud and get them. Yeah, they're oh man, they're some of my best work, I think. I don't do a lot of edge highlighting with them, which makes them a really fun thing to paint, because it's all just a lot of just going crazy, big brush movements and stuff. But the thing that makes them challenging when I paint them, and it's another reason why I like them so much, is that they are so detailed. Like, I'd keep going, just pouring over and looking over, and I'm like, missed a maggot there. Oh, there's some zits I missed. Let's get in with that. And it's like, oh man, I missed this tube right here. Let's paint this tube. So, they're interesting compared to my Templars, in that the Templars are challenging in one way, and the Blightlords and Nurgle models in specific with this current Nurgle miniature range are challenging in another way, and they're two very different ways. Like, the Space Marine range is very clean, very flat armor panels and rivets here and there, and heraldry and stuff like that, and it's all very clean line work, which means if you're edge highlighting it with the way I do it, you gotta sit down and you gotta do a lot of the same, just little itty bitty, control the brush as much as you can to get the straightest line you can for as long as you can, and just keep doing it. Whereas the Death Guard, it's like, pay close attention to us. Keep watch on us, basically, because if you don't, you're gonna miss something. And it's so fun. But speaking of my Templars, I got the 5 Scouts painted. And these are probably the best Scouts I've ever painted. I think after I put this video up, I'm gonna make a post on Instagram with a side-by-side comparison between my basically the Scouts that didn't get stripped. Like, I looked at them and I was like, these are just good enough that I'll leave them alone. I'll just put them on new bases and, you know, rebase them and whatnot. So I can give you like a side-by-side comparison. But these are still, like, I still consider painting these, like, kind of loose. Like, I definitely went through them a little more, if that makes sense. Like, I paid more attention to how I paint them when I was painting them this time around, as opposed to the way I used to paint Scouts, was just like, alright, just super simple dry brush, face, but, you know, just everything dry brush, blah, blah. And they combine all of the skills I use with my other Templars. For instance, like, I put the decals on these shoulder pads. I never used to do that with my old Scouts. And so, you know, you gotta be able to use your Lamian medium or what Mod Podge. I used to do it with Mod Podge. Now I just use Lamian medium now. And, you know, really pay attention to, like, all right, let's get all the air bubbles out. Let's make sure it sits nice. So the techniques I use for them have evolved, because the way I paint my Templars now has definitely evolved. And yeah, like, they look good. Like, I mean, I even did, like, normally I wouldn't do this. I just do, like, a dry brush on their face, but I went back and did a Lamian medium with Kislev flesh tone, or, yeah, it was either Kislev or Cadian, which I should have written down, because now I don't remember it. And I've got a handy-dandy filing system nowadays, which, if you paint a lot, I recommend you get one of these little index card thingies. Comes with, like, a little A to B, like, thing. If you're like me, like, maybe you've got a good memory. I don't. But I write down everything I do, like, and how I do it, and I put a little dab of paint next to the thing, just so I can be like, alright, these are the steps I take when I do something. That way, if I ever, you know, if I move on to some other project, and then I come back to it, like, 2 months later, and I'm like, oh, how do I do this? I forgot. I don't have that problem anymore, because this. And it's just a night, like, I've only been doing this for, I don't know, 8 months, 6 months, something like that. So it's, I mean, this isn't terribly full, just because I haven't, like, it hasn't had time to evolve with how I paint. But I think moving forward, this is almost going to be like a little record, basically, of everything I do, which I think is super cool. It's a nice way to just track your progress and track your complexity a little bit. So yeah, I hit all my hobby goals for the week, and then, like last week, I got a whole bunch of other stuff done. I'm just going to run down my little list here. So I put together 12 Chaos Warriors, because I had a box sitting on my shelf, and the one Chaos Knight I have painted has been staring me in the face for a while, and I'm just like, man, I love how that looks. I want more. And this box is taking up room on my shelf, and I'd rather the minis take up room in a case, so I put them together. I sprayed them gray, and just tonight I did all of the black wash on their armor. So I've got them up and running. I put together a Nurgle Sorcerer Lord. I got a Terminator Lord in the mail, and I kit bashed him with some of the extra Blightlord pieces. And this guy looks cool. I cannot wait to paint him. I cut away some of the plastic a bit on the leftover Plague Flail. I think that's what it's called. And just kind of glued it in up top on the back of his staff here. And just used, like, extra Cataphracti Terminator armor arms. in place of the ones that came with the Chaos Lord. And I put the Blightlord Terminator kit has this like head in it that's like a bald head with like these big like bloated, nasty, gnarly jowls, and I was like, okay, that would be cool for a sorcerer. And then he's got a little combi melt-a-gun too. I decided to put him on a 50mm base, which is non-standard, so he's probably not going to be tournament legal, but I don't care because I don't really want to play Warhammer competitively. That's not what it's about, and I just wanted to have him have a more interesting base because I've got all these skulls lying around. Like, let's put a little pile of skulls on the underside of the rocks here. So, yeah, I did that this week. Let's see. I put about 15 or so more Marines on 32mm bases. Just going through my stuff and being like, all right, what did I miss? Like, because there's just so much. I know I have bought one whole bag of 32mm bases, and this is my second one, and it's almost gone. Now, not all of them are Marines. Like, a good 20 of them are Fanatics, and then, like, 12 are for the Chaos Warriors. And various bits and bobs here and there. But, man, that's a lot of bases. And there's probably still some more lying around. I'm pretty sure I'm all my Devastators done. There might be like 5 more Scouts that I gotta do. I'll keep going through it. But yeah, did that. Let's see. I painted my player character model for D&D this week. I don't really feel like pausing and cutting the video, so I'm not going to show it to you here, but there'll be a link for it in the description. I primed a bunch of Space Marines this week when I did these Chaos Warriors. The Chaos Warriors are primed gray, and the Space Marines are primed black, because black Templars. I mean, like, black. It comes in any color you want, so long as it's black. Yeah, that was probably 30, 40 spray primed. And that appears to be all. I think that's all I did this week as far as hobby stuff goes. Didn't actually manage to get a game in this week, unfortunately, but that meant I got more hobby done, and I really enjoy hobbying, so 6.5, 1 dozen of the other. I've probably messed that up, even though I use it all the time. Anyway, so, moving into the hobby goals for the week. I got in the mail a Saint Celestine. Now, the reason I got a Saint Celestine is because I saw that they are doing the Everchosen event. And I've never done a painting competition before. And since I don't have to actually go to England for this one, which I frankly can't afford to do, and you know, it's coming back to Adepticon this year from what I've heard, so that's cool, but I probably could afford to go to Adepticon. I'm pretty sure that's up in Northern Virginia, which is like 5 hours up the road somewhere, so probably could afford to do that. I just don't, because of my general aversion to large crowds and noises, but I'm sure I'd be in good company up there, so like that'd be a large crowd and a large noise that I wouldn't, mind too much. But this one is international. It seems like it's mostly going to be online. So I was like, you know what? Like, let's go for it. Why not? Let's enter. Let's pick a model that fits the criteria for the competition and just do my absolute best on it and see how it stacks up. And then I'll have an idea of how much further I got to keep going. So the competition is in... The closest place I can enter is Winston-Salem, which is about 2.5, 3 hours down the road from me. So that would be a nice little trip. And, I'll probably bring some Warhammer stuff and try to play a game down there, too. So yeah, I just thought, you know what, let's do that. I've already got some ideas floating around in my head. I've been looking at how I'm gonna color scheme her. I think I'm gonna do like an analogous color scheme or a tetrad or an analogous with one complement. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it because I am still kind of thinking about it. So yeah, that's I think this week hobby goal for that is going to be do some light assembly. I don't want to assemble it all the way because I'm pretty sure I want to do that backpack as a sub-assembly. And depending on how the kit is put together, maybe some other stuff, I don't know. So we're going to say work on Celestine is a goal, and work is intentionally vague. This week I want to paint these spiders. Now I think I mentioned these last week, in that I wanted to experiment with my airbrush with them, and then I had some foul up with like priming, but I went ahead with it anyway and stripped it. But these are all primed up and ready to go. And I think I want to just use my airbrush and practice on these and see if I can't get something cool. I got about 10 of them here. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to paint all 10 of them because I know how quickly you can actually paint stuff with an airbrush. It probably won't be exclusively airbrushing because I think the way I'm going to want them to turn out in the end might require some like light washes with like some one of the things I did was like a Reikland flesh shade with some medium to get this really thin, like almost quasi flesh tone color. So I'm going to paint all 10 of those, and if I don't, I will know that it is because I underestimated how much work that would actually be, but I think I'm right there. I think I'm right. I'm frequently wrong, though, so... and then we're going to paint 5 Sternguard this week for the Eternal Crusade. The 5 I have here are 3 combi plasma gunners. Sergeant has a combi plasma gun, so 2 combi plasma gunner, a Sternguard Sergeant with a combi plasma gun and power fist, and then 2 plasma guns because plasma. I want to dance with the devil in the pale overcharge light. And then next week, maybe 5 more. We'll see. I'm under the impression that I am very soon going to get burnt out on painting black armor and green armor soon, and might want to just do some Chaos Warriors or something. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely 5 Sternguard this week. And I've still got a box of squig hoppers, I've got a squig herd, and I've got grots that need to be put together. So I'm also clumsy, and bragging about all the shit I have would have been just desserts if that all fallen off a shelf. Stay. Anyway, yeah. I will probably put one of those boxes together. I'm leaning squig hoppers because I don't really have any of them. I got like 6 of the old metal ones, which isn't, in my experience, at least last time I played Fantasy, which it was Fantasy at the time. 6 squig hoppers does not do much unless they're just trying to roll down the battlefield and eat some artillery or something like that. But yeah. I've got a lot cut out for me this week. But I had a lot to do last week, and I managed to do it all, and some extra. And I kind of like the way, I like the pick 3 things that absolutely must be done, and then all of the multitude of other stuff you have going on is just fair game, whatever you feel like. It's a good way to, in my opinion at least, it's a good way to make sure the important things get done, and you still have fun without burning out on doing the same thing all the time, if that makes sense. Like, I think it's a good system. It's probably chaos, but my chaos. I mean, don't not no chaos, no chaos bad. The Emperor protects anyway. He says he paints Blightlord Terminators anyway. That should do it for the week. Yeah, it's we're moving right along. And thanks again to everybody who's been following me. I'm man, like the past couple of things I've put up, I check my phone and be like, whoa, 30 likes. Okay, whoa, that's new. I'm not used to that kind of thing, but I really appreciate it. It's really motivating. So thank you, and I'm gonna keep going. See you next week.